Yeah, today's not going to be a really long one, to be quite honest. I've got a few things to do, but figured I'd obviously drop in with regards to giving you a little bit of a roundup from the midweek games that we've just had in the Premier League, as well as giving you a little bit about what's happening today. So we'll go through the midweek games first and foremost. There's a few interesting games in there, as I'm sure you know. So we will start with match day 33, which happened on a Tuesday. We'll start with Molyneux. Crystal Palace went there and absolutely got toppled by Wolverhampton. So that's not necessarily a shock, I'm going to be honest, because Crystal Palace did draw their last game with Everton and couldn't beat a 10-man Everton. So I'm not quite shocked at the result. Wolverhampton are clearly on the warpath at the moment and are looking to stay up. So ended up being a 2-0 win for them. Quite decisive. Speaking of decisive, Aston Villa at the moment can't seem to stop winning. They won 1-0 at Villa Park against a very game Fulham side. Fulham obviously without Mitrovic, so obviously that takes away a lot from their attacking phases, but they do play some really, really good football in the midfield. Very, very good transitions. But Aston Villa are just one of those teams at the moment, a really, really good run of form, have a settled 11, and Unai Emery is obviously doing his due diligence at the moment, getting the best out of every single player at the minute. Aston Villa currently up to 6th in the league at the moment as well, which is quite mad considering they were 16th when Unai Emery took over. Ellen Road, Leeds United won, Leicester City won, and Leicester City should have won this game, if I'm being honest. I thought Leeds United gave a good account of themselves in the first half. The second half, especially after Jamie Vardy and Patson Daka came on, game kind of turned a little bit on that. Jamie Vardy got his first goal in, I think, was it 14 games, I think it is. Really good goal as well. James Maddison pulling all the strings, puts Vardy through, and Vardy pretty much just finished like Vardy usually does. Both sides still heavily in trouble. A point doesn't really do anything for either of them, but it is something to build on for both of these teams. Nottingham Forest 3, Brighton 1. I think that's more of a hangover for Brighton of the FA Cup semi-final they had with Manchester United only 4 days prior to that. Nottingham Forest at home are a very, very decent unit under the lights. It's one of those teams that are very, very tough to beat, and so Brighton find out. Brighton took the lead first, funnily enough. Went 1-0 up, but then Nottingham Forest came back. 3 very, very good goals, 3 very well taken goals, and quite deserved, I thought, for Nottingham Forest. So absolutely out of the bottom 3 at the moment. Still banging trouble at the minute, but if they keep on picking up results at home, as I've been saying all season, I do think Nottingham Forest will be quite safe. Is it really a shock to go to Stamford Bridge and see Brentford turning Chelsea over 2-0? I don't think so. Not with Frank Lampard at the helm at the moment. That's what happened. Brentford went there and absolutely slapped Chelsea in the middle of next week, to be quite honest. I don't see Chelsea winning another game this season, if I'm going to be honest. If you're going to keep Lampard there, you've got the option of obviously bringing Pochettino in, and I believe that's close. That's what I've been led to believe at the moment. But Lampard sat there in the hot seat at Chelsea is not giving you confidence. I'm sorry. I don't care if he's a legend as a player. As a manager, he's absolutely whatless. And Brentford just went there and absolutely showed them no respect and just bullied them. Chelsea are sliding down the table at a canter at the minute. Brentford are holding their own in the top half of the table, playing very, very well at the moment. West Ham United 1, Liverpool 2. I didn't actually see this game, but from the looks of it, it was a really entertaining one. Liverpool coming out on top of this. Liverpool going up to 7th in the league at the moment now. Very, very entertaining game from the stats that I saw. And again, not really much more I could really add to that. That was from the London Stadium. West Ham have obviously been picking up a decent run of form, so that's a really good result for Liverpool at this time, who are still in the chase for the top 4. We'll move on to the biggest game of the week here, which was Manchester City versus Arsenal. That ended up being 4-1 to Manchester City at the Etihad. In case you didn't know, Arsenal's title challenge seems to be up in smoke. They'll obviously turn around and tell you top 4 was the aim. Mate, you were top of the season for literally 33 weeks. Literally 33 weeks. Sorry, not even 33 weeks. Sorry, 33 match days even. And this is how you're talking, oh, top 4 was the aim. Shut up, man. You were never winning this league. And I'm pretty certain everyone told you like that. But you were in a title race. You were in a title race. Own it. Accept you weren't good enough. Move on. Manchester City again. Kevin De Bruyne on the score sheet again twice. Absolute baller in the big games. There when you need him. Haaland gets another one. Just out here breaking records with his long hair as well. It's Man City are a madness, and I don't see them dropping 2 games to anyone, to be quite honest. I see them going on a mad run. They'll win every single one of the games they got left, and they will end up winning the league. Southampton versus Bournemouth. This was Thursday. With Bournemouth coming out on top. Every time I say that Bournemouth are going to do nothing, they end up proving me wrong at every single juncture. They've won another 3 points here. And I don't know how they're doing it. It's the togetherness that they have. Obviously, Southampton are not the best at the moment. We know that. But Bournemouth do not. I mean, they got a result against us a couple of weeks ago. And it doesn't flatter them at the moment. They're actually playing really decent stuff. Everyone seems to be there for each other. They seem to be, working the ball and working the channels quite well. And that's where they're getting most of their success. They just don't have any players that I would actually take. Maybe Philip Billing, but maybe. But that squad should not be doing as well as they have been doing at the moment. And they have pulled away a little bit from the relegation zone. I think I've got a 4-point cushion, and they'll probably pick up a few more points as well. As for Southampton, I think they're doomed. I think they're gone. And I think James Ward-Prowse is going to leave this summer, and I think he can find himself a top sort of 10 club. He's very, very useful on free kicks, as we know. But they are bang in trouble. Bournemouth, on the other hand, are going quite well, and will probably look to extend that this weekend. Everton 1, Newcastle 4. Isak is a baller of a player. I'm not sure if any of you saw his run for Newcastle's final goal on Thursday night. I think it was Jacob Murphy that put it away in the end. But that run he made from the corner flag, pretty much beating 2 or 3 players and then cutting it back, absolute cold baller. Everton 1, Newcastle 4 from Goodison. I spoke to a fan actually last week, an Everton fan, and he thinks Everton are actually going to be relegated. I actually argued that point and said I don't think that they are. I think there's worse clubs than them. But at the moment, Everton are playing shockingly at the minute. I know Newcastle are in a good run of form, looking for Champions League placements, which they'll probably get. But Everton are good enough to get out of where they are at the moment. At the minute, they're just not showing it, and Sean Dyche had to do something quite quickly. Their transitions aren't working. Defence is far, far too open, and they're not scoring goals, which obviously is a recipe for success. Contrary to Newcastle, who do know how to play a bit of football in the midfield, have very, very good technical ballers in there, but obviously do the hard yards and have a really, really good defensive base. And this is obviously where you get the want to obviously keep as many clean sheets as you can, or at least keep the score low. I believe Newcastle still have the best defence in the league, and obviously you got strikers up top that can finish in Callum Wilson and Alexander Isak. So yeah, Newcastle going very, very well at the moment, and obviously I know that more than anyone else because we got absolutely hammered by them last week, which wasn't fun for me, of course. Speaking of us, we ended up drawing 2-2 Manchester United's Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. After being 2-0 down yet again in the first half. Goals from, was it Rashford and Jadon Sancho, only for us to come back with a magnificent goal from Porro. Took it down and literally outside of the boot, curled it into the top corner. And then Son Heung-min on the score sheet again from another assist from Harry Kane. I don't think we're going to get much from Liverpool this weekend, to be quite honest. I do think that the defence is very brittle. I don't want to see Eric Dyer in the Tottenham shirt ever again, to be quite honest with you. I think that the time for him is now come for him to go. He's been at the club now for just under 10 years now. And in that time, I couldn't tell you what his best position is because maybe he doesn't have one. But everyone that seems to come in seems to like him. I don't know why. He cannot ball. And he's costing us a few points. As I say that, I'm going to go into this weekend's matches, and then I'm going to obviously shoot off. So I'll go through it quite quickly. Crystal Palace versus West Ham is coming up today at 12:30, so that's in another 45 minutes from this video time. I'm going to go for Crystal Palace win. I do see West Ham have obviously come back into a little bit of form, but I do see a Palace win here, and I'm going to go with a 1-0 there. Brighton versus Wolves is at 3 o'clock from the Amex Stadium. I will go with a Brighton win there. I know Wolves again are another team in great form, but I think Brighton will have enough to turn them over and turn them out. G-Tech Stadium, Brentford versus Nottingham Forest. That is an easy Brentford 3 points for me. I'm going to go with a 3-1 win there. Tomorrow, there's only 3 Premier League games today as well, just so you are aware. Tomorrow we'll go into the Sunday matches. There's quite a few of them actually. So we've got Manchester United versus Aston Villa from Old Trafford. I can see that being a draw. I don't see Aston Villa going there and getting turned over at the moment. Man United aren't in the best form either and don't have the best centre-backs. So I can actually see Aston Villa getting something out of this game. So I'm going to go with a 1-1. Fulham versus Manchester City has got Manchester City 3-0 win written all over it. So that's what I'm going. I think Haaland is going to get another couple. Bournemouth versus Leeds, that's live from the Vitality Stadium. I'm going to go with a Bournemouth win. So again, they're going to pick up another 3 points and they're going to scupper my predictions of them going down. Can't blame them, they're playing quite well. Leeds United are a team that is banging trouble though. And I do think that they might be one of the candidates gone. Newcastle versus Southampton from St James's. I'm going to go with a Newcastle win. I'm probably going to go with a 3-0 there as well. It could actually be more. This might be another time when Southampton can see 9. So that might be well worth the bet, to be quite honest. I'm going to see what 9-0 to Newcastle is actually going to come up as, because Southampton are actually that bad. And then we've got the big one on Sunday, which is Liverpool versus Tottenham from Anfield. We don't go to Anfield to win. We go to Anfield to try to survive and nick a point. We're not doing either of those. I'm going to go with a Liverpool win. It'll be significant. I'm going to say 2-1 Liverpool win tomorrow, because we just don't go there and get results, to be quite honest. Then we've got Monday night, Leicester City versus Everton. That is from the King Power Stadium. I'm going to go with a humbling Leicester win. 2-0 for me there. And I do see Maddison on the score sheet there again. And then the final game of the weekend, it will be Arsenal versus Chelsea. Probably go with an Arsenal win, because Chelsea, I think Lampard will probably be in the hot seat still for Chelsea. And Chelsea, like I said before, ain't winning another game this season unless Pochettino comes in right now. But I do see this being another humiliating defeat for Chelsea, and I do see about 2 or 3-0 in Arsenal's favour. There are games again on Wednesday upcoming and Thursday as well. Matchday 28. So these are the ones that didn't take place for one reason or another. So it could be other commitments, FA Cups, Carabao Cup matches, Champions League games. So we do have Liverpool versus Fulham. That is from Anfield. I'm going to go with a Liverpool home win, and I think it'll be quite comfortable for them as well. We'll go 2-0 on that one. Manchester City versus West Ham from the Etihad is on the same night. That is another 3 points for Manchester City, and I do see them scoring 3 or more there again. I do think Haaland is going to get another brace there as well. Manchester City home win there again. And then on the Thursday, which is next week, Thursday the 4th, we go Brighton versus Manchester United from the Amex. And again, this is another one that Man United could drop points in. Brighton are playing very well at home, and obviously this could be a little bit of revenge with regards to the FA Cup semi-final that they just had. I'm going to go with a Brighton home win. Manchester United don't go to Brighton and win very often. I don't think Man United have actually gone there and won a game since Brighton have come up to the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken, especially at the Amex. So I think Brighton might keep that run going. So I'm going to go with a cheeky 2-1, because United do have weapons up top. That's me. I'm out. That took, 13, 14 minutes. If you like it, like the page, obviously subscribe if you can. Insights will obviously get a little bit better. I'm going to plan to do a little bit more for the next season as well. I do have to dart off though. But yeah, enjoy the weekend. Obviously the Crystal Palace game is about to start in about 35 minutes time, so do enjoy that. Enjoy your weekend, enjoy your bank holiday Mondays as well if you're not working, and I'll speak to you again next week Friday hopefully. Take care.